Tonight, PTSD push-ups, day 12. Might be a little bright to see the sign. There we go. Charleswood Legion 100. It was backwards. Yes, I'm eating ice cream. Hey, go figure. So I figured it'd be a nice little energy food before doing push-ups. If you're wondering what I'm looking at or what I've got behind me, of course it's backwards again. Fort Garry horse, M4. This particular one was built in, I think it was 1944. General Motors division, if I remember correctly, for use for shipping off to Russia for use in World War II. When it was shipped, or before it was shipped, the war was over. So ended up being purchased by Canada for a huge tidy sum of $1,650 apparently is what the military was buying them for. This particular one, if I remember correctly, yep, it's got rubber treads on it so it can be used on the roads. Sherman tank. As intimidating as it was out on the battlefield, it's quite small considering how many people were actually inside of these things and the damage that they used to cause. I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. Sorry, guys. But it's something, though, to think about. 76mm gun. Good size. Very deadly. Went through a whole lot of terrain and stuff out there. Very unstoppable. They're beautiful to watch in the old war movies and stuff for what their capabilities really were. But I want you to think about the guys who are inside. No air conditioning or anything like that. I know we think, ooh, yeah, okay, so you're in the military, so deal with it. No air conditioning or anything inside. But aside from that, it's guys that you have trained with, you've fought with, you've slept in the same bunks, you may have slept in the same tanks as them for many a night when you're out in battle. It's the camaraderie and stuff that you end up with and the fights you end up in because you're in such a small confined area. Not to mention the fact that how brutal it was because you're actually in war. I want you to think about that for a second. You guys are out in battle. They're in a situation where it's you and I think four other guys. So 5 guys or 6 guys in this tank. Not a whole lot of space. You're going into where horses used to be, hence the Fort Garry horse, which is what it's called. Where other people are riding in their tanks, the Nazis and stuff, and they are shooting artillery at you, trying to take you out and kill you. I want you to think about when you've got tanks going across the battlefields. The battlefields have literally in some cases 10, 12,000, 14,000 dead bodies. It's one thing to see the carnage that your cannon caused. It's another thing when you're driving the tank and in cases you're driving over top of bodies. I just think about that for a sec. You're driving a tank which you have to get across in order to take out and kill more people because that's your job. Because the Nazis were people who were going and literally wanting to exterminate an entire race. Those that want to deny the Holocaust and stuff, grow up. History agrees with that's what they were doing, no matter how much you want to deny it. Even the Germans can't deny it there. It's a part of their history, and they do school tours through Auschwitz and other places to remind their students where they came from and what not to do. But just imagine you're in a situation where that's what's happening. You're going across to literally kill people because that is your job. It was so much more real back then than it is now, with everything being done through drones, planes, things like that. Back in World War II, World War I, tanks were just slowly being introduced and stuff, and at the end of World War I, or armored cars and stuff, or armored carriers. But just you're in a tank and you get hit by mortar round. Now, they're not like the ones that are today in regards to how well built the tanks were, but you get hit by a mortar round and you're literally watching the guy beside you that you may have known for years, bleeding to death, screaming in pain because he could be burning alive. And because it's been hit by a mortar round, you might not be able to open up the hatch. You're watching your friend burn to death. You're watching him bleed out in front of you, screaming in pain, until the screams stop. What do? That's burned into your mind for the rest of your life. 10% battery. I guess I better get on the push-ups before everything dies here. 22 push-ups. Had my ice cream. No excuses for no energy. Okay, let's do it. Today's nomination: Christopher Fontaine. Chris Fontaine. Oh wait, that's right. You have a special connection with the military. So why don't you dress up and do some push-ups? 22 push-ups, 22 days.